This is the Suzuki Hayabusa, the baddest bike money can buy. It costs $18,500 and it uses a 1340cc engine and a 6-speed gearbox. It also comes in orange and black.
You don't need me to tell you all that. What is this bike really all about? Suzuki's a little bit coy about it, but this bike actually has 190 horsepower, or about 142 kilowatts. That gives it a power to weight ratio of 2.1 kilograms for every kilowatt. A V8 supercar like Craig Lowndes races has almost a kilogram more for every kilowatt to push around. The V8 supercar, 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in about 3.5 seconds. This thing, closer to 2.5. And that's the stuff they don't tell you in the brochure.
And those figures I've quoted include a big bloke like me on board the bike, so they're real-world numbers. Even then, they don't tell the whole story.
There is no shortage, there's no end to the power this thing makes. I mean, most bikes feel a bit quick and some feel really fast, but this is phenomenal. You will never, ever run out of performance with this bike. It's more than I need, and I'm tipping it's probably more than you need too. Boy, the corners come rushing up so fast.
Of course, you don't just put a nuclear power station in a bike frame and hope it works. The rest of the package has to be up to the job too.
It's a lot better than the old Hayabusa in terms of the way it turns in, but it's super stable. With a bike with this sort of performance, the last thing you want is something that's on tippy toes and feels twitchy through the bars. You really don't want it to feel like it's going to get into a tank slap or any tick of the clock.
Suzuki has added a tricky 3-stage ignition map to the Hayabusa too. Setting A is for totally loopy mad, B is for slightly saner, and C is for wimps who just want to get home alive.
As I was leaving home, it was bucketing down. Fantastic, I thought. It hasn't rained for, I don't know, 4 years. And the day I get a 1,000,000 horsepower motorcycle, it pelts down. So I did the smart thing and I shifted the ignition to the C map and it worked. It took the peak out of the horsepower and it made the delivery much nicer. It was a much more secure feeling bike to ride. But now, the sun's out, the roads are dry, and it's time to let this puppy off the lead. I tell you what, if power corrupts, this thing could bring down a large government.
The catch with all this performance is that this is not a cheap bike to run. You'll need a new $400 rear tyre every 5,000 kilometres, and it swills petrol like a small car. And then there's the speeding fines.
You ride something like this and you realise that they just don't make fast cars. Forget about it. Yeah, I reckon awesome pretty much covers it, but it's as close as I can get in one sentence anyway.
Here's my tip. If you do want a bike like a Hayabusa, I wouldn't muck around. See, governments hate you having too much fun, insurance companies hate these things, and even the people that make them are scared of them. Which means they're not going to be around forever.